Hi everyone. So today I have a really lovely guest in the studio, and it's someone that I met in my Pinpoint pop-up in London recently. I kind of walked in one of the days and quite a few people were having their makeup done. So I just went along kind of chatting to everyone that was in the makeup chairs. And this person got really emotional, and she started to tell me about when she first started watching my videos 14 years ago and what it had meant to her and how they'd helped her, not just with her makeup, but how she was feeling at the time and what was going on, and helped her to face certain situations and how much she enjoyed makeup. And anyway, to cut a long story short, I just arrived in full makeup and we ended up both crying our eyes out, and I just thought she was so inspirational and so lovely that I said to her, once the pop-up's over, please come back and let's make a video together. So without further ado, please welcome Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca, so we're going to start with some Elevated Glow. Going to blend this in. So I'm just doing a layer of Seamless Skin Foundation. This is shade 13 because you're a golden girl. Got those golden undertones.
And I notice with this that it doesn't sit in your pores, and it's more pearlescent rather than metallic.
Yes.
Which I think really kind of makes it special and makes it more natural looking as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
no, it's a brilliant product.
That kind of very metallic thing is nice for sort of stage / shoots, but it's not always the nicest in pure daylight because it tends to emphasize a lot of stuff that maybe you don't want emphasized, and highlights. So sometimes you use it in an area where there are bigger pores or there's maybe some fine lines or whatever, and you're thinking, I don't really want to highlight this bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm 42 now, and it's more that makeup does sit on my skin differently, and adapting to that is like if you don't know how, it can be quite challenging.
What I'm going to do is, I haven't finished your skin yet, so I've done the Elevated Glow and I've done a thin layer of foundation. I'm actually going to move on to eyes before I do things like concealer. Firstly, it gives a moment for the makeup to really settle in, which is nice for me because I've not done your makeup before. So this is, as a makeup artist, something I would do with sort of new clients to see, does your face eat makeup? Does it last? How does it look after 10 minutes when it's been on? And it gives me a lot of information about your skin and how it takes makeup. So for eyes, I'm going to start with just a thin layer of this, which is a more pearlescent, I'd say, eye base. This is Liquid Lurex in Cressida. I'll just put a wash on. This will help anything that I'm using on top to stay, but also we're just starting with that nice sheen on the lid.
Yeah, I've become scared of eyeshadow completely, like as I'm getting older, and I've completely stopped wearing anything that, like, I'll wear like a white eyeshadow just to kind of like give a base, but like any kind of shadowing in here, especially as I'm quite hooded. And also there's some asymmetry, which I never really know how to deal with. So yeah, I'd love to see what you come up with because I've become terrified of it.
Okay, so the asymmetry thing, just relax. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean, you've got not very much at all. But yeah, you do have more space on this side, a little bit less here. So here we might have to come up a little bit higher and just create a little bit more shadow this side. So look straight ahead. So there. So what you'd be doing is you're kind of mapping out where that shadow has maybe gone a little bit softer in as your eye shape is changing. So doing it with your eyes open.
Looking straight ahead.
Looking straight ahead is the first thing you need to do. Do it really soft, because straight away you see when you relax, you've got the shadow in the right place. Because sometimes if you close your eyes for me, if you start to do it with your eyes closed, you'll open your eyes and you'll think, oh my God, that's so low what I've just done. Have a look at that while I'm doing it. So see when you're looking ahead, almost straight ahead would be sort of there, right? So I'll show you where I'm going. So I'm using just a little bit.
Oh, it's a lot higher than I would have normally put it. I would have tried to go right into the crease.
Yeah, and then you've lost it.
Yeah, and then my eyes look smaller.
So it's here where we're going.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yep.
And that's creating the shape.
And it's picking up the light as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because we put that little shimmery base on underneath, so it's not going to be too drying or too matte looking. And then once you've got that, you've mapped out with your eyes open. Of course, you can close your eyes and do all your blending and all of that stuff. Let me just do the other side. So again, now this is slightly different, you see. Here, I'm going to lift up your brow because there is more space this side. So you're the same as me, yes, my right eye. Do you sleep on your right side?
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah, I do too, and it's made my eyes, that side's my droopy side.
They're wonky now.
Yeah, I know everyone's the same. I know a major supermodel, I won't say her name, but whenever I meet her, we talk about her left side. She sleeps on her left side, it's all dropping. I'm my right side, so we kind of need to join up together somehow. So things like that do make a difference. So this side, I can go a little bit higher. Let's see. And now have a look what we're starting to create.
Yeah.
Kind of a shape where we're getting that shading done. I mean, I've got to build it up a bit more, but we're starting to get some nice shading. So for eyes, I'm going to start with brown, a little bit of pencil first before we do the powder. Now, if you look straight at me, what I'm not going to do is do the line very heavy in the middle. Because we want more of like that sleepy, elongated eye. So if you close your eyes now, I'm actually going to start here at the outer edge. I'm going to put a little bit of the pencil on, and then I'm going to take a small brush and just use that to blend the pencil. We're obviously going to use powder for this in a moment as well. It's open for me there. So this just starts to get a little bit of that depth into the roots, and without it being too dense, too dark. I'm just pushing a little bit of that pencil into the roots of the lashes and open for me there. So I'm just keeping it a little bit more from the center out.
I don't think I've ever once managed to get them to match.
Okay.
Like in my life.
Do you know what? They don't. I don't agree with match. I think what looks good. So if I do my eyes with eyeliner, if I was to close my eyes, they look completely different. But when my eyes are open, the effect is very good. And people will be like, your makeup looks good.
Yeah.
If I was to close my eyes and they were to analyze the shape on each, it's nothing to do with each other. Nothing to do with it. So don't worry about that, because no one's walking around with their eyes closed.
No,
with
but
people
Lisa,
studying.
I mean like...
Okay. I see what you mean. In terms of like the wings. Okay, so I think, again, it is about looking ahead in the mirror and thinking about what looks good.
Right.
So mapping one out, mapping the other one out, taking a Q-tip, moving it a little bit, adjusting, looking ahead in the mirror, okay, they look good now. You might close your eyes and they're actually in completely different places, but when your eyes are open, the effect is very good.
Because you feel like you're building the eye rather than just... I thought that I was supposed to go like that and it was done.
Does that. I mean, that's the world of social media where people have actually edited it. Don't worry about that. Honestly, that's not the art of makeup, in my opinion. The art of makeup is adapting it to suit different faces, to be able to enhance different faces, to be able to understand that it's not about perfection. It's about effect, not perfection.
Right.
In many, many cases. So now I've got a little bit of powder. This is black mixed with brown. And if you just look straight ahead again, I'm just going to start to map out where that line's going to be. People do this with, obviously, tape. I just like to do it on mine when I'm just looking straight ahead. And I just start to visualize what my angle's going to be. And you've got two little folds exactly the same as me there.
That's what's so hard to negotiate, is those little folds.
It is.
It really is, trying to work out, when your eye is closed and you've done it, and then you look and you go, wait, that's the placement is completely different to how you thought.
Exactly. So then you've just got to whip it off with a little bit of a Q-tip.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Oh, no, it's everyone. Once you've got your angle, then close for me. I mean, if you've got, a completely straight lid and there's no bumps, there's no hoods, there's no nothing, then of course it takes a second. But if you've got a landscape to negotiate, open your eye for me. So I'm just starting to figure out, and I'm not using a lot of makeup here either.
Do you know, now, Lisa, I'm going to use that phrase, well, I have a landscape to negotiate.
Yes. Next time you're late for a dinner, you say, I have a landscape to negotiate.
I have an
eyelid landscape to negotiate.
It's normally because I was trying to decide what my dog might like to watch on telly before I left.
Okay. What does he like to watch, by the way?
She likes to watch all sorts. Squirrels, they make it an actual...
No way. Well, that's too cute. So again, I'm going to start, you just looking straight ahead. Just straight ahead, as if you were looking in the mirror and doing your eyeliner, really. Get back at that side. And just don't try and do that, because if you do that, when it drops, you'll be like, oh, that wasn't the shape I was planning on. So do it while your eyelids are relaxed. Because most of the time when you're out and about, you're going to be talking to people, hopefully just relaxed. Yeah. And it's as simple as that.
I think one of the most beautiful things about makeup is that it's one of the only times when, because it's so cathartic, you're completely absorbed in the moment, and it genuinely helps me regulate my emotions.
Yeah.
I know that must sound really
it's
wild.
Mindful.
It is,
as they say,
because you completely concentrate. You have to concentrate to do it.
I'm actually going to just go in now with a little bit more of a softer bit of shadow. I'm adding the grey into this as well. And I'm going to start to just bring that line almost into the socket a little bit more. So they start to join up a bit, just to add a bit more depth in there.
And as I don't have big eyes, that's something that I'm always really scared of.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it all over the lid though. I'm literally just going into these outer corners because I want to try and keep the whole eye open. This is just a great thing to do when you want to get width in your eyes but still keep them big, just to bring that from underneath. So I'm just starting to build up using a little bit of the grey-brown shades just to bring that shadow in. So I'm going to do the same this side as the other side. So I'm just starting to bring smoke, almost that liner, into our socket line that we did earlier on. Give it some more depth. It just means that the liner, when your eyes are open, you have a lot more shadow at those outer edges. So when we spoke in the pop-up, you were saying that you started watching my videos 14 years ago. It's made me feel like I've been around a while.
Well, we've been around a while. I think about how much life has changed since I started watching your videos.
Yeah, you were saying you weren't in the best situation back then, and it was a little bit of a place to come and watch about makeup and time for yourself, maybe. And
I think, I'd left a very violent relationship. I would look back now and I realised that I was actually just decompressing. I was decompressing in the same way as like my teenager comes in from her day at school and she's just in her room like this. I was doing kind of the same thing. I was, decompressing. And there weren't loads of makeup influencers.
No,
I think you were one of the first people who did makeup.
Professional one. Yeah.
And it was also so technique based, which I really love.
Yeah, you could use whatever you have in your bag.
Yeah.
Same now. I mean, I say that to people all the time. Whatever you've got in your bag, just use it.
Yeah.
You don't need any specific products, or it doesn't have to be this brand or that brand, or
that's it.
This colour, make it work for you.
Well, no, and Lisa, to say I was broke. I was really, broke. And,
But you'd been brave enough to leave a...
Oh, my gosh.
Relationship, so...
Well done. And I had to. And I think when I couldn't do it for me, but I could do it for my daughter.
Right, yeah.
Like I had to.
Yeah.
Because I loved her more then I loved myself,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
so I could do it for her. But the thing is that I don't know that I had ever taken in and understood, like, as a complete coping mechanism, actually how bad things were and what was, really happening. And I certainly, like, hadn't told, my brothers or my family about it, like, to protect everybody. It was only when I had to confront it, because I got injured quite badly, and I saw the look on the doctor's face, that I actually, for the first time, realised how bad things were.
Right. It just hit you then,
Yeah. Other than that, I had completely disassociated from, what had become a completely quotidian experience.
You do hear that a lot, actually.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. And if anything, I just wish people really understood the kind of, the playbook of how to do that to somebody is to completely isolate and separate them from everybody and make them think that they won't be believed, And I think once I got over that and I was able to, create some space for, me and my daughter, and actually really process everything that had happened. But I do think that makeup, it kind of becomes quite an act of defiance, is how I see it.
So slowly, you're watching the videos and trying the techniques and just getting yourself together. Actually, you were healing.
I was healing, and I didn't realise that at the time, but that's actually exactly what I was doing. I was healing. I tried every day to just, like, put my makeup on as, like, almost like a grounding technique. My friend, she said to me, follow the plan and not the mood. And I live by that still, is that no matter what you're experiencing internally, you have a plan of things you have to do that day. And that might be at the beginning cleaning your teeth and making your bed.
Okay. Yeah.
Follow
the plan and not the mood.
Follow the plan and not the, it doesn't matter that, and I'm like it. I mean, I'm like it with the gym. It doesn't matter how bad I feel, I'll get down to the gym.
Yeah, good for you.
Well, I think that's why I was so moved when I saw you, was that you, for me,
well, me too. If I was a small part of that, then I feel...
You don't know whose northern star you are. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, I might cry.
Yeah, you're making me cry.
And so anyway, in the end, my brother came with me. My daughter needed to see me go into the police station and say exactly what had happened and make a full report.
Oh.
And so I was just like, that's what we're doing. And I just want to live my life out in the daylight now. I really do. It's my greatest wish for myself.
Good for you. And with fabulous makeup. Stop a minute, because that got me all emotional.
Something that I've learned through a significant amount of psychotherapy is to learn to name what you are feeling, to learn to say, that makes me feel sad, or I'm frustrated, or I'm, and from there you can say, okay, why?
Yeah.
And what about that is making you feel sad? And for me, at the bottom of everything will be that I don't feel safe.
Okay. Yeah,
that's completely understandable.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
What's it going to take to make you feel safe within that?
Yeah.
So...
And that's the change that you need to make.
Yeah, exactly.
Just going to patch up where we've had our little cry, which is tiny bit of liner came off there. Not too bad. This is probably going to feel a little bit weird.
That's all right.
Feel okay?
Yeah.
Let's see again. That's nice. I'm just going to start with a little mascara. Brows-wise, you already have makeup on, so I'm going to leave them. Do you want to tell us what you've got on your brows, just so I'll know to put in the list?
Sure. So because I have quite sparse eyebrows in places, because I'm child of the 80s, and so we used to pluck the hell out of our eyebrows in the 90s.
Yeah.
And so I use a Maybelline tattoo. It's a gel that you put on your eyebrows, and then 20 minutes later you peel it off.
Oh, right. Yeah,
and
like
then it's kind of,
then
it's kind of like a shadow of an eyebrow kind of left there.
Oh.
And then that's something that I can build on with makeup.
Okay,
like if I want to draw in the little hairs, I can because I've already got a base there.
Hey, so you have that as your base.
Mm.
Maybe I'll just draw a couple just underneath that arch.
So that's something that I always do is because it's just so angular. I have to kind of fill in.
So let me take I'm going to use a brush. Sorry, a pencil, I should say. So this one will give you like that little, almost like soft hairs as well. And then absolutely, I agree that we just need to soften that arch a touch.
Yeah, because you don't want it to look pantomime.
No.
Like Salvador Dali came for tea.
Yes, no, we're not going for that surrealist brow moment today.
As modelled by him. That's how I meant them to be.
Oh, that was easy enough to do. So it's that mix with a bit of warmth, but not too warm. Yeah, this one's perfect for you. Just going to do a little bit of bronzing, but with some coolish tones, so we just get a little bit of contouring as well. Because you've got great cheekbones.
Thank you.
Well, you don't need a lot of contouring. I'm just using it ever so slightly just to emphasise, really, your lovely cheekbones rather than do a solid line or anything.
Well, I mean, again, that's when I was living in Paris, I think I missed that whole heavy contour phase. Yeah. And they don't really contour there.
No, they don't.
I absolutely refuse to contour my nose. I mean, I've always had somebody say something about, having a prominent nose. And there are all these hacks as to how to make your nose look smaller. And I've just decided that I'm going full Roman Empress on it.
Yeah, great. You know why? I'm sick of all faces looking the same.
Oh, me too.
And if everyone contours their nose in exactly the same way and everyone starts to look identical, oh my God, it's going to be so boring. In general, I just like to celebrate differences.
Agree, yeah. Totally agree. And it's something that I love so much about other people, but will find so hard to accept, on myself. And I know that has to change. I know it does. And the amount of times I've thought about having my nose done, and then I've just thought, no, you're actually going to do the hard work of learning to love yourself. And you have to.
Yeah. So last bit of pinpoint, just tiny little blemish there. I like this colour on you. This is shade 6, so it's a little bit warmer. A golden sort of apricot, but it's very good just for cancelling out your little any redness.
I just love this product though, Lisa, because it adds no texture.
Yeah.
It adds no texture and it's just brilliant.
It's kind of blurring as well as camouflaging. So it's, the texture is something that I was really fussy about because you want it to be obviously concealing and camouflaging, but then you also want it so that if you do blend it, you can't see it on the skin and that the finish isn't too matte, isn't too shiny. It's very skin-like.
It's just a skin-like finish.
Yeah.
It is. On this side of my face, I have a scar this scar has made so much progress, but I know it's there. And I have a scar here that then to there as well. And anything I put on it, you can just see the texture of it is different to the rest of my skin tone underneath my makeup. And the more makeup I put on it, the more it just looks worse.
It shows more.
Yeah, it shows more. Yeah. And especially in the summer, it comes up like bright brown. And people will say to me, I didn't know you had a scar on your face. How did you get that? And I'm like, what? But that pinpoint concealer is the only thing that I've ever used on it that you literally just draw on top of it, pat it, and then it's gone. And I can do an entire hour of boxing, come out drenched, and it's still covered up.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's
so lovely.
And I have a scar on my back here, and I can literally just, and it's gone.
It's gone. That's great. So on your lips at the moment, you've got, just to explain to me, but this is more of a
maybe like
a lip tattoo.
What about 3 or 4 years ago.
Mhm.
I obviously had too much time on my hands and decided to have my lips it's called lip blush. It's like a lip
Okay.
blush, so it's just kind of puts like a colour, like a
Mhm.
faded colour onto your lips, so they still have some definition.
Okay, so I'm going to use the pencil 2C. I'm going to do a really light layer of this, probably all over lips. I'll just fill in as well. Let's just give us a base. Just going to use some Kitten Mischief over the top.
I love the name of Kitten Mischief so much that I thought this shade better suit me because I'm buying it because I just love the
It's a
name
good
so
name.
much.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it does suit a lot of people as well. So I'm glad I chose it to have that name because it's one of my favourite shades.
It's so cute.
Just going to do a touch of blush. We always love. I'm going to use a little bit of powder blush this time, so it's just quite fresh, but not too much. I think a touch of blush, obviously the eyes take a bit of time if we're going to do this blending and all that, but in general, a little bit of blush, a little bit of lipstick or a little bit of lip gloss. It's just so easy to do and it always makes you feel better, I think.
It does. It is. It's so empowering to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and just kind of put your best foot forward.
Love it. Powder as well.
I think that's one of the key things that really helped me.
Yeah, just when you see yourself looking better, you sort of automatically feel better.
Yeah, you just try to, and there definitely was a degree with me of kind of like fake it till you make it type of thing.
Yeah.
That you don't have to immediately transform yourself into where I want to be in 10 years' time. It's climbing a ladder, and you don't need to know the bigger picture. You just need to know what your next step is.
Yeah, I'm just doing a final touch. You can see yourself on the screen now. Just my little final touches.
I just wish so much that, seeing myself here today, like with you, I feel like I've somehow come full circle, like being back there, like where I was the first time I saw you, how bad things were.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I wish people knew when they're in that place that life can change in 24 hours.
In a heartbeat, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in, Rebecca. I loved meeting you at the pop-up, and I'm just so grateful that you've given us this time to talk and chat and just enjoy makeup.
It's such a pleasure. Thank you so much.